What would you do to manage investor psychology when there is volatility, or how would you manage this during outlooks when they're changing, when interest rate cycles are changing rapidly? What would you do?
Mm.
What's your take on it?
I think the way to build investor trust is over a period of time is transparency. I know I'll go back to the education awareness. If your investor, if your client customer sees you doing that over a period of time, disclosing risks at all point of time. So for example, on our platform on India Bonds, if you're buying A minus, which is the riskiest side, it'll show you that, hey, this is risky. Are you sure you want to do this? Okay. So building that trust, and nothing is 100% guaranteed, but trying to communicate that we've built technology for analysis, explanation, transparency, webinars, highlighting risk. Yesterday, I did a little podcast. It was only about risks, 20 minutes. I said, forget about talking about bonds. Let me just talk about what are the risks in investing in bonds. So I think if, nothing remains constant and all markets have to go through volatile periods or periods of uncertainty, we would just say that, hey, we are there. We're telling you it's happening or it's going to happen. We're not going to hide and run. Given the 20 years experience we've had, I've dealt with these credit cycles, right? So especially in 1819 in India, when we had a massive credit cycle or credit crisis, you had to just handle. People just want information. People want to make sure you're there to hold the hand, to express empathy, that you're with them. I think mistakes in finance are made when people in troubled times just run away or don't pick up their phone calls. So I have a dedicated, a bond manager. I call them bond managers who actually handhold, because there's nothing pure DIY in technology in fintech. You need to speak to a human being once in a while. And they all train. We don't let them talk to clients till they're trained on fixed income for 2 to 3 months in-house. We do complete training. It's not that we hire someone that go and talk to the client.
See, one thing I find interesting about fintech as a whole space is that you have a lot of regulatory compliances.
Yes.
How do you balance that regulatory compliance with the agility that is required in a startup?
Very good question. And, that's where accidents happen, right? I think the good thing is between the two of us co-founders, we are both ex-bankers or current banker, and we've come in a regulatory regimen for 20 years each, right? So for us, it comes very naturally. We would not do things necessarily and risk the business or risk the industry. And we found our ways to be, agile in that, because what we realized that even the last 2-3 years in our industry, people who said, SEBI said, do not do unlisted. Some platforms continued till they got notices that you got to shut business. I cannot afford and should not, because regulation exists for investor protection. You can innovate around that. We have a very good free dialogue with the regulators explaining things. The way they work is they always put an opinion paper out, let public comment into that. So that practice is very exciting. And, we usually write a lot of white papers talking about that. So I do not find regulation inhibiting at all. Well practiced, and just make sure that, we chug ahead within the framework.
One advice you'd give to young professionals and entrepreneurs entering into fintech, two different sets of advice perhaps. But
yes, young professionals entering fintech, make sure you believe in the founding team. Coming into a fintech, think yourself as a VC investor. Are they funded well? Are the founders good? And what is the culture, right? So, and fintech is, I think we're only 10-15% of the way there where we're going to be in 10 to 15 years. So if you really want to build a career, please join. Absolutely. For founders, they don't need me to tell them. I mean, it's amazing.
bit of crazy.
You have to be crazy. Don't be a crazy like me at a late stage, start early. But finance, makes the world go round, right? You can have solutions. Obviously, we have this fast e-commerce fad in the country. But everything in the world moves around money, whether it's payments, insurance, investments. So if you attach yourself to that, and how underpenetrated in the country it is, we've seen stories of underdeveloped markets becoming developed markets. The whole Viksit Bharat of 2047 is that we'll be a developed economy. A developed economy will be a multi-trillion-dollar economy. I think we're just starting. So in 10 years, it will be amazing. The growth which we will all see, I think it's going to be quite phenomenal.